Greetings, beloved Princeton United Methodist Church community. It's Pastor Jenny here with an update for you. And I'm reading today from Leviticus 25, verse 4. But in the 7th year, there shall be a Sabbath of complete rest for the land, a Sabbath for the Lord. You shall not sow your field or prune your vineyard. This is the word of life. Thanks be to God. Recently, I took a workshop. It was an anti-racism workshop, and one of the teachers in this, the non-human teachers, we had several human ones, but one of our non-human teachers was dirt, was soil from the ground. We were asked to find a to go collect a bowl full of dirt from within a mile of our homes. And this course happened over the course of about 6 weeks, and we were supposed to keep that dirt with us. And we were asked to engage with that dirt in a variety of ways. And it became clear through this exercise, there was lots of insights about this, but it became clear that some of us are very connected to the earth and to dirt and to the soil, and some of us are really not. I was reminded that I grew up in a city and in a family that really didn't spend a whole lot of time outside. Maybe none of us were really connected to the earth. It was a long time before I witnessed somebody gardening or really, discovering what all lies in the earth beneath our feet. I was really an adult before I found myself enjoying nature and being outside and discovering kind of the earth and God's creation in ways that really filled me and brought me to life. I wonder what your connection with the earth is. Some of you are land and earth people. You grew up in this. You grew up in being very connected to the earth and to all that the earth produces. And I imagine you have a very different understanding and connection with it than I did, having been part of that for so long in your life. But maybe you're also like me, or maybe somewhere in between. Maybe you're somebody who really doesn't enjoy being outside at all and hasn't found pleasure in discovering what is in the earth. But this week, we are looking at exploring what it might mean to have Sabbath for the earth. And, this is, again, I think one of the starting places if you are somebody who hasn't had as much connection with the earth, or even if you have, most of us now live in less rural places. And so I invite you to reconnect with the earth this week. Now, I realize it's not great weather this week, where it's rainy today and when I'm filming this, and it might snow or ice this week, and so it presents some challenges for some of us, reluctant to go out in that kind of weather, but I invite us, even in our imaginations, to begin to reconnect with the earth. And even if this week is not a week to go outside, maybe we dream about a couple of weeks on when it's a little more spring-like and we can go outside and be physically connected to the earth a little more. I think for us to have Sabbath for the earth, or to help extend our Sabbath, or let the Sabbath for the earth extend to us in this mutual way, we need to connect with the earth and to remember how we are dependent on it. We are responsible for it. We come from it. Remember on Ash Wednesday how we talked about it is from dust that you have come, and to dust you shall return. We come from the earth and we will go back to the earth. We are part of this great ecosystem. And so I invite you again, what is your relationship with the earth? With the soil beneath our feet that is often has a boundary between it, but with our houses underneath our feet, or our foundations and sidewalks and driveways and streets. Sometimes it's hard for us to get really connected to the earth. But that's the invitation for today. I also wonder, we're about halfway through Lent now, and I just offering an opportunity to check in. How is Lent, this Lent for you? What is it like? How have your Sabbath practices been, if that's what you've been engaged in? How have you discovered something new about yourself or about your needs? How have you discovered delight? How are you struggling? I know that many of us can have lots of resistance to Sabbath, even as much as we know we may need it. Some of us have guilt and shame around it. Some of us have fears. There are all sorts of things, even in the midst. Maybe it's even combined with great gratitude or relief to be able to experience and have permission and encouragement to experience a little bit of rest. So just a mid-Lent check-in as well. How is it with your Lenten soul, and what might you do or intend over these next 3 weeks of Lent to let Lent be for you what you need it to be, and to be for God what God invites you to be the rest of this Lent too, if that makes sense, to just set our intentions once more, to reorient ourselves to God, to one another, to ourselves, and even to the earth during this Lenten season. I invite you to continue to practice our Lenten practices that you'll find in your booklets, online as well, on our online campus. I invite you to go there and see. And I also invite you to think about who you might want to invite to Easter worship. We're going to have a sunrise service at Princeton lawn, and another service at our regular time at 10 o'clock. And I wonder if there's somebody in your life that you want to invite to experience Easter with you. Somebody who is maybe longing for the fullness of life that we are all seeking together as we practice things like Sabbath. And after Easter, we're going to be talking about grace and looking at the song Amazing Grace and sharing our love for that song, but also looking at what is grace? How is God's love being poured out for us? So who might you invite into that experience with you? Friends, it is always a great joy to be on this journey with you, to remind each other in this relationship that we are enough because God is enough. We were created for joy. We were created for delight. May it be so.